The alarm screamed. My eyes snapped open. 5:03 a.m. The room was dark, the city outside still asleep. I sat on the edge of the bed, heart hammering. The words echoed in my head again, vivid, urgent. Go to their house tomorrow morning, and you will see the mask they hide behind. My father's voice, or what I thought was his, had cut through the fog of grief and the monotony of life like a blade. I rubbed my face and swung my legs to the floor. The apartment smelled faintly of coffee from the night before. The cat stirred on the couch, flicking her tail. I whispered, almost to myself, sometimes the past reaches forward faster than the future we hope for. A shiver ran down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching. I dressed quickly, jeans, a gray jacket, sneakers. No makeup, hair pulled back. Efficiency. I had a mission. The city streets were empty, mist curling around streetlights like silent witnesses. My car's engine broke the morning stillness as I drove, following directions I barely remembered from my father's dream. The GPS read out, arrive in 25 minutes. I didn't care about time. Only the house mattered. Nina Harper's house sat on a quiet cul-de-sac at the edge of town. Pristine, too pristine. I parked 50 feet away and watched. 2 cars in the driveway. One black, heavily tinted. One white, unfamiliar. The morning air smelled of rain and pine. Clean but tense. My stomach knotted. I stepped out of the car, trying to make no sound. Heart racing, breath uneven. The front door opened. 3 figures stepped onto the porch. One tall man, hands full of papers. One older woman, small, sharp eyes scanning the street. And the last a younger woman, pale, cigarette in hand, casual but deliberate. They moved with the kind of coordination that comes from shared secrets. I crouched behind a low fence, binoculars pressed to my eyes. "All ready," the woman said, voice low. "Everything," the man replied, scanning the papers. "And if she comes back early?" the older woman asked, calm but precise. "She won't," said the man. "We've accounted for her schedule. The locks are changed, the house will be empty. No interruptions." I froze. My pulse jumped. No interruptions? The words sank into me like ice. Their plan, whatever it was intentional. They were waiting for me. I took a silent breath, careful not to disturb the damp morning. I whispered to myself, "Trust, like glass, shatters in pieces before it breaks completely." A shadow flickered behind the curtains of the house. My eyes widened. The younger woman smirked, exhaling smoke. She had seen movement. She knew someone was watching. My hand shook. I pressed the phone to my ear. 911. No, too early. The detective. Michael. I dialed. "Michael, it's Lily." "It's urgent," I whispered, voice trembling. "Talk to me," he said, calm. "They're planning something. At Nina Harper's house. Papers, locks, I think they're going to." The line went silent. Static. Then a click. I glanced back at the porch. The man held up a paper. The woman with the cigarette flicked it into the wind. The older woman smiled, almost kindly, and then they all disappeared inside. I exhaled sharply. My heart pounded. They are inside, and I am outside, alone. I crouched lower, pressed against the fence, knowing I had to warn someone. Act fast. But something told me any sudden movement would alert them. My father's warning returned to my mind. Sharper this time. "You will see their mask." The front door clicked. A lock turned. Their plan was in motion. And suddenly I realized I was the one they had been waiting for. If I don't stop them, I'll lose everything tonight. The city still slept when I returned to my car. The rain had stopped, leaving streets slick and reflective, like mirrors for my nerves. My hands shook as I dialed Michael again. The detective answered on the second ring. "Lily, are you still there?" His voice was calm, but edged with caution. "They're inside, Michael. Nina Harper, the man with the papers, the younger woman, they're planning something. I overheard. My voice barely above a whisper. Sitzheits. Don't approach. I'm mobilizing a unit. I hung up. Silence pressed in. I could feel eyes on me. Every shadow seemed to shift, every parked car a threat. Danger loves the inattentive, I muttered under my breath. Cut to my apartment. I slammed the door behind me, double-locked it, and peeked through the peephole. No one. Yet the feeling persisted. Someone had been following me. Had they retreated? Or were they circling back? I pulled out my laptop. Emails from unknown addresses flashed. Subject lines blank, attachments corrupt. One read, "We know you're awake." Panic and adrenaline collided. My stomach churned. I tried to focus. I needed a plan. First, safeguard evidence. I snapped pictures of the driveway, the cars, the porch. Notes jotted rapidly. Descriptions, positions, timing. Every detail mattered. Every second counted. Then a car engine behind me. Slow. Deliberate. My pulse leapt. I froze. Black sedan. Tinted windows. It stopped across the street. No one emerged. Just engine idling. Tires slick on wet asphalt. Trust is a currency spent only once, I whispered, pressing my back against the door. Michael's voice came again, this time from a secure line. Lily, they've traced your location. You need to leave immediately. I'm sending backup, but get to a safe house first. I grabbed a bag, laptop, charger, emergency documents, phone. My cat meowed, brushing against my leg. Even she seemed tense, sensing the storm outside the walls. Cutscene. I exited through the fire escape. Rain-slick metal, heart racing, my body cold, alert. Every creak of the stairs sounded like a gunshot. At street level, shadows shifted again. No one close. For now. A thought, the papers they carried. Real estate, property deeds, bank authorizations. Could they legally transfer my father's estate while I was alive? The law was clear. Without my signature or proof of power of attorney, it was impossible. But someone always finds a way. Cutscene. I ducked into a side alley, camera phone raised. The black sedan was gone. My heart refused to slow. I tapped Michael again. They're watching every move, Michael. I'm not safe anywhere. Understood. Listen, Lily. We're patching in a surveillance drone over their property. Do not go back. Do not confront them. I swallowed. Logic screamed. Fear screamed louder. Yet another thought gnawed at me. If they were patient, they could wait for me to leave the city, then strike. My home, my documents, my life gone. Sometimes the eye sees what the mind refuses to believe. Cut scene. The younger woman. Her face in memory. Smirk curling. Cigarette. Smoke trailing. I realized she might not just be a pawn. Could she be the strategist? The puppet master? Her calm, casual movements had a rhythm of experience, not panic. Suddenly my phone buzzed. Boythosha. Video attachment. My own living room. Empty. Except for a shadow moving. I froze. Cut to Michael's voice over encrypted line. That's them. They're inside your apartment now. No time to think. Action. I sprinted across streets, slick with rain. Hail fell in cold, sharp pellets. My bag thumped against my side, a dull rhythm matching my heartbeat. Cutscene. Safe house. Michael's unit already there. Officers in tactical gear. Doors barricaded, windows monitored. I collapsed against the wall, soaked and shivering. They're planning tonight, I gasped. They have documents, locks, and they're waiting for me to leave. A tactical officer glanced at the screens. We've got thermal scans. Movement in every room. You were right. They've been monitoring your schedule. The only way out is through, I murmured, recalling a lesson my father once said. Cutscene. A monitor blinked. Black sedan. White sedan. Both converging toward the cul-de-sac. Time compressed. Every second counted. Michael whispered into the radio. All units, move to intercept. This ends tonight. I clenched my fists, vision narrowing. Fear, determination, adrenaline all fused. There was no room for error. Not now. Then, movement on the monitor. Someone leaving the porch. Papers in hand. Approaching the driveway gate. My stomach dropped. They're coming for me first. The night was thick with fog, wrapping the cul-de-sac in a gray shroud. My pulse hammered like a drum in my ears. Every sound, distant car engine, a snapping branch, the soft rustle of leaves was a warning. I pressed my back against the brick wall of the safe house, eyes fixed on the driveway monitor. Lily! Michael's voice crackled through the earpiece. They're moving. Do not engage. Wait for the signal. I nodded, though he couldn't see me. My hands shook. I could feel my father's warning echoing in my mind. The ones closest can hurt the deepest. Cutscene. On the monitor, Nina Harper stepped forward, holding a folder thick with papers. The younger woman, Elara, trailed behind, glancing around like a predator sizing up prey. The man, my soon-to-be brother-in-law, Jason Caldwell, handled a set of keys, jingling softly. They were methodical. Too methodical. I ducked as a shadow passed the window. Breath caught. Someone was outside, testing the locks, moving with quiet precision. Trust no one, not even the familiar, I muttered under my breath, remembering my father's words. Cutscene, Michael's voice tense now. They're attempting to breach the rear access. I've dispatched 2 units for containment. You need to stay put. I chewed my lip, my eyes flicking between monitors. The black sedan had returned. Engine idle. Headlights off. A figure stepped out. Elara? Jason? I couldn't tell. Then a twist. My heart stopped. On the driveway monitor, Elara bent down near the mailbox. She wasn't just watching, she was planting something. A device? My stomach churned. Sometimes the most dangerous weapon is patience, I whispered. Cutscene. I switched to the thermal view. 2 bodies approached the rear gate. Nina held a flashlight, moving toward the service entrance. Jason fiddled with the lock. A mechanical click. My stomach dropped. They were in. I grabbed my emergency bag. Laptop, phone, documents. All that mattered was proof, evidence. I couldn't afford to be powerless. Cutscene, Michael's command. Lily. There's a 3rd figure moving along the perimeter. Unknown identity. Stay hidden. A shadow rounded the corner of the garage. Slow. Intentional. My chest tightened. Every instinct screamed. Someone had seen me. Someone knew I was watching. Cutscene. Inside my apartment, my father's safe loomed in memory. Documents, deeds, account access. They didn't know it existed. Or did they? Could they have traced my notes, my emails, my digital breadcrumbs? I moved with deliberate quiet, crouching low. The device Elara planted blinked faint red. A tracking mechanism? A recording? My stomach dropped again. They had planned this for weeks. Months, maybe. Sudden movement on the street. Headlights cut through fog. Michael's voice came sharply. Units are in position. Lily, prepare to exfil. I nodded, though again he couldn't see me. But my eyes were drawn back to the monitor. Jason had retrieved something. A folder, keys, papers. Nina stood beside him, calm. Smug. The first mistake is thinking you're safe, I whispered. Cutscene, the back gate. Jason inserted a key. Lock clicked. They slipped inside. My chest tightened. They were in my home. My sanctuary. My father's legacy. A sudden beep from the planted device. Panic. My fingers flew over the laptop. Trace it. Jam it. Anything. Cutscene. The thermal camera revealed movement inside Nina. Jason. Elara. My eyes darted to the documents in their hands. My father's estate papers. All of it. Michael's whisper came urgently. Lily now. Pretend to leave. We'll intercept. I swallowed. Pretend. Move. Play their game. The idea of feigning vulnerability felt like a betrayal to myself. Yet survival demanded it. Cutscene. I packed a small bag quickly, zipping it tight. My cat, Marbles, hissed, sensing tension. I muttered, "Courage is feeling fear and doing it anyway." Through the fog, the black sedan started. Elara's figure in the passenger seat. They were leaving? Or baiting me? Sudden twist. A sound from the alley. Footsteps. Too close. I froze. Michael's voice again. Lily's side exit. Go! I darted. Rain-slick pavement, heart hammering. The fog clung to my clothes. Breath ragged. A shadow passed. Pause. Look back. Empty. But the feeling didn't leave. Cut scene. The cul-de-sac. Sirens in the distance. Faint but growing. Units converging. But my eyes caught movement. Elara stepping out of the car, watching. Watching me. Twist within a twist. Her phone lit up. Camera aimed toward me. Realization hit. They weren't just stealing documents. They were documenting me. Every step. Every reaction. To a future we can't escape, I whispered, heart hammering, adrenaline pure. Cut scene. Michael appeared on the monitor. Tactical team flanking the driveway. They moved swiftly, quiet, precise. And then, Elara looked directly at the camera. Smirked. They knew we were watching. Rain hammered the pavement, slick and cold, turning the cul-de-sac into a mirror of dark steel. I crouched behind the low wall, breath fogging, eyes scanning every shadow. Every street lamp flickered, like a heartbeat in the fog. Caution is a weapon, I muttered, gripping my phone tight. Cutscene. A black SUV slid to a stop across the street. The engine hummed, low and threatening. Through the rain-streaked window, I saw her, Elara, slipping a gloved hand into her coat pocket. Something metallic caught the dim light. Michael's voice in my earpiece was tense. Lily, perimeter breach confirmed. They've split. One group inside, one outside. Don't move yet. I swallowed, teeth clenched. My father's words echoed. Danger hides behind the familiar. Cutscene. I watched Nina Harper carefully approach the side gate, folder clutched to her chest. She glanced around, confident, predatory. I could feel the calculated patience in every step. Then a sound, metal scraping against metal. My heart jumped. Jason's keys. They were inside. My documents. My father's legacy. Vulnerable. I pressed myself flat against the wet brick wall. My hand shook. My father's warning played like a record in my head. The mask you see is not the face you know. Cutscene. Inside, Nina flipped open the folder. Papers slid under the dim garage light. Titles and signatures. Fake signatures. My blood ran cold. They had meticulously planned this. Months of preparation. Michael whispered urgently, Lily, this is your window. Move. I inched forward, the rain soaking through my jacket. Every step deliberate. Heart hammering. Cutscene. Suddenly, headlights from the rear. Another vehicle. Slow, deliberate. A shadow shifted in the rain. Watching. Studying. Waiting. Twist. I realized it wasn't just about the documents. They were surveilling me. Every move, every breath. I ducked into an alley. Phone to ear. Michael. They're watching me. Not just taking papers. They're documenting me. Silence. Then understood. Exfil Route Delta. Do not engage. You need proof, Lily. Cut scene. As I turned the corner, a flash of movement. A figure. Masked, motionless. Too calm. Too deliberate. My pulse jumped. Fear is a compass if you listen, I whispered, edging closer. Slow motion. The masked figure lifted a hand. A camera glinting in the faint streetlight. They caught me. My every motion. I dove ben da dampster, lungzeving. My cat's image flickered in my mind, marbles, sensing tension. Survival instinct kicking. Cutscene. On the driveway monitor, Nina, Jason, and Alara were not working together. They were performing a calculated dance. Layers of betrayal and coordination. I saw the documents switch hands. Jason pocketed some. Alara checked her phone. Nina whispered something. A plan fully unfolding. Twist. The folder Jason took wasn't the full set. A decoy. They had anticipated my presence. I froze. Then the rear door rattled. Someone was trying the lock. Not the ones I expected. Cut scene. Michael's voice sharp. Lily, rear exit compromised. Move now. I sprinted. Rain cutting into my face. Sloshing through puddles, heart racing. Shadows moved like predators around me. Every corner a threat. The safest place is often the trap, I whispered under my breath. Cut scene. I reached the safe house. Door slammed shut behind me. The rain pounded the roof. A drumbeat of urgency. Monitors flickered with activity. Nina, Jason, Alara, all accounted for, but not quite. I realized they were testing me, assessing reactions, patience, fear. Their masks hidden, but intent exposed. Then a sudden alert. The planted tracking device blinked red. Panic surged. They weren't just stealing. They were mapping every heartbeat, every step. Twist within twist. A silent notification on my phone. Location pinged inside my apartment. Someone had deployed a sensor. Someone was watching me now from the inside. Cutscene. I drew a deep breath, every muscle tense. Plans shifting. Strategy recalculated. Michael's voice. Lily, tonight decides everything. Keep them unaware. Be the shadow. I nodded, though he couldn't see me. Victory favors the patient, I whispered. Sudden cut. Movement on the window ledge. A silhouette paused. Head tilted, observing. My stomach dropped. Familiar height. Familiar posture. Could it be Jason? Rain pelted harder. Wind whipping. Masking sounds, yet accentuating every creak. I clutched my bag tighter. Evidence. Proof. Survival. Then the final twist for tonight. The silhouette lifted a hand, waving subtly. Not a greeting. A signal. And I knew, tonight the masks would come off. The real danger was closer than I imagined. The night was a living thing, breathing down my neck. Streetlights smeared in the rain, turning everything gold and gray. I could hear my own heartbeat echoing in my skull. Fear sharpens the mind, I whispered, adjusting the camera feed on my phone. Every frame counted. Every second was evidence. Cutscene. The black SUV I'd seen before was parked 2 blocks away, engine off. A shadow moved inside, careful, deliberate. I held my breath. Michael's voice cut through the static in my earpiece. Lily, they're moving. Cameras show Nina and Alara heading toward the rear. Jason's gone rogue. Don't underestimate him. I pressed myself into the alley wall, watching, feeling the rain cut through my jacket. My father's words surfaced again. The mask they wear hides the knife they hold. Cutscene. In the safe house, documents stacked neatly on the table. But my eyes kept darting to the screens. Every angle, every reflection could betray me. The rear alley camera blinked. A shadow ducked behind a dumpster. Someone was tailing me. Twist minor 1, Jason. I realized he wasn't just inside. He was orchestrating a countermove. I swallowed hard. The folder I'd thought secure was half empty. They were playing a layered game. I slipped my shoes tighter. Phone clutched. Michael, they're too coordinated. I can't predict the next move. His calm response was unsettling. Then we improvise. Evidence first. Survive second. Cutscene. The side gate creaked. Footsteps. Nina. Alara. Both masked, both confident. Rain plastered their hair. Glinting eyes under the hoods. They spoke in low tones. Alara's words sliced through the tension. Once she leaves, it's over. The apartment, the papers, everything. Nina chuckled softly. She won't see it coming. The mask isn't just for us. Twist minor 2. I caught the glint of a camera strap dangling from Nina's coat. Another recording device. They weren't just stealing, they were documenting me. Every flinch, every step. Cut scene. I inched closer to the gate, eyes flicking to the fire escape. To be unseen is to survive, I muttered. Movement. Another shadow. Too high, too fast. Someone was already on the roof. The words of a mentor rang in my head. Patience is a weapon the reckless can't wield. I held still, heart pounding, calculating. Cut scene. The first confrontation was a blur. Nina's voice snapped. Stop right there! Rain hammered the ground as I pivoted, sprinting toward the side alley. My lungs burned, adrenaline slicing through every nerve. Twist minor 3, a car door slammed. Jason, not chasing but blocking my exit. I froze, eyes locked. Recognition. Threat. Betrayal. Lily, he hissed, tone cold. Hand over the folder. Don't make this messy. Cut scene. I ducked behind a dumpster, breathing hard. The metal smell of rain hitting hot asphalt. Michael's voice. Lily, engage the decoy. Force them to reveal their plan. I nodded silently. Time was slipping. Every second was a gamble. I threw a small bag across the alley, the paper scattering. Nina lunged. Elara swerved to catch another. Twist minor 4. Their reactions were predictable. Too practiced. I realized someone else had been coaching them, feeding every move, every contingency. Cut scene. I bolted for the fire escape. Metal groaned under my weight. Rain sluiced down my back. Every step a countdown. Shadows below swirled. Nina, Elara, Jason. The chase was a symphony of tension. I reached the roof, surveying the dark city. Rain-soaked, lights blinking. My father's voice. Sometimes the only way out is up. Twist major 2, and then I saw him. Nolan. Not part of the immediate chase. Watching from across the street, phone in hand, signaling. The true architect. My breath hitched. Every layer of deception led to him. Cut scene. Lightning split the sky. Rain pelted my face. I descended onto the fire escape's second platform. Michael's words sharp. Now, Lily. Evidence and draw them in. This is it. I whispered, teeth clenched. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving while it owns you. The shadows below shifted again. Elena and Nina paused, looking around. The storm masked their sounds, but the camera feed didn't lie. Every flinch, every pause documented. Cut scene. I triggered the final alert. Flares of red lights blinked on the remote device, activating a signal that Michael could triangulate. A trap. Twist minor 5. Jason didn't move. He studied the setup, hesitated, the mask of confidence slipping, his own uncertainty feeding the tension. The first crack appeared in their plan. My breathing synchronized with the rain, heart racing, every movement cinematic, every second mattered. And then, as I reached the edge of the roof, Nolan's signal confirmed what I feared and hoped. He was here, orchestrating the final act. I gritted my teeth. The storm howled. My heart thundered. And I realized the ultimate confrontation was only minutes away. The masks would fall tonight, and the truth would be unavoidable. The city was quiet now, but my nerves still screamed. Streetlights reflected off wet asphalt like scattered diamonds, each one hiding a shadow. I leaned against the hood of my car, breathing in the rain-soaked night. Safety is a fleeting illusion, I whispered, and it tasted like ash. Cutscene. The police had moved in. Blue and red lights pulsed in the distance. Michael's voice came over the earpiece, calm, measured. Lily, they're securing the perimeter. You have a window, move. I stepped forward, rain slicking my jacket, boots splashing. Every step was precise. The apartment keys weighed heavy in my pocket. Evidence, files, proof. All that could end this nightmare. Inside the building, silence. Too perfect. I slid the door open slowly, each creak loud as a gunshot. My father's voice echoed in memory. Sometimes the only way to unmask the truth is to step into the dark yourself. Cutscene. In the living room, papers scattered. The safe cracked. Nolan's plan unraveled under the watchful eye of the investigator. Cameras blinked, documenting every move. Elara and Nina had been detained earlier. Jason had tried to escape, but found police waiting. Twist minor 1. A hidden envelope. I picked it up, heart hammering. Letters, confessions, names I hadn't expected. Nolan had manipulated more than just us. His reach stretched into the city's shadows. I whispered under my breath. Power is a mask everyone wears, but some wear it too long. Cutscene. Rain pounded the windows. Footsteps on the staircase. Nolan. He wasn't cornered yet. He moved like a predator, calculating, eyes dark. You think this ends here? His voice was low, venomous. I raised the phone, recording everything. It ends when justice is served, I said, voice steady, though adrenaline burned through me. Twist minor 2. He smirked, pulling out a USB. Even if you take me down, they'll take everything else. Bank accounts, contracts gone. You have no leverage. Cutscene. Michael's voice snapped over the line. Lily, ignore him. Evidence first. Capture him. We've got everything else documented. The chase began. Nolan lunged toward the fire escape. Rain, slick steps, hands gripping metal. I followed, boots pounding. Lightning split the sky, illuminating his desperate, calculating face. Twist major 3. On the roof, I realized he had planned an escape route through the neighboring building. A helicopter, prepped and ready, blurred my vision with the glare of searchlights. Control is the illusion of the desperate, I muttered. Cutscene. I sprinted, tackling him just as he reached the edge. Struggle. Vetglyphs. Rain in eyes. Lightning cracked above. He slipped, grabbed the ledge. My hands fumbled, but I held on. It's over, I hissed. Twist minor 3. Nolan laughed, hoarse. Do you really think justice is so simple? People like us, we never truly lose. His grip weakened. The flash of a police spotlight made him freeze. Cutscene. Reinforcements arrived. Hands on his arms, cuffs clicking. Rain sluiced over us. Nolan's mask of control shattered, revealing only fear. I sank to the ground. Wet, shaking, heart still racing. Michael appeared, hand on my shoulder. It's done. You did it. We did it. Cutscene. In the aftermath, police cataloged evidence. Statements were taken. Documents, USBs, recordings. Everything that could protect the innocent, punish the guilty. The city slowly exhaled with me. Twist minor 4. I found a small note in Nolan's coat pocket. You think you've won, but shadows never vanish. My stomach twisted, a reminder the world outside this night still had dangers. The sun rose, pale and hesitant, through rain-streaked windows. I stood at the balcony, looking out over the city. Freedom isn't the absence of danger, it's the courage to keep moving, I whispered. The warmth of the morning mixed with exhaustion and relief. Cutscene. I returned home. Apartment intact. Files secured. The past week replayed in my mind like a fast-cut reel. Betrayals, near misses, masks falling, truths revealed. Each moment had forged me sharper, stronger. I thought of my father, of his warning dream. Listen to the whispers of those who came before you. They speak the truths we often refuse to see. His voice wasn't gone. It guided me still, steadying my trembling hands. Cutscene. Friends arrived. Relief, hugs, cautious smiles. Conversations whispered in corners. Justice was served, yet the emotional cost lingered. My trust had fractured, my heart guarded, but my spirit survived. Twist minor 5. Michael handed me the last USB, smirked slightly. Not everything's public. Some truths remain ours. Keep them safe. A reminder, Protection was ongoing, vigilance eternal. I placed it in my drawer, locked it, breathed. Alone for a moment, the city alive below, I finally allowed a single honest smile. Survival felt different from victory, heavier but real. Cut scene. Later, at my window, the rain had stopped. The street below glistened, people moving unknowingly. Life. Ordinary, fragile, beautiful. I held my cat Marquise close. Life isn't about avoiding storms. It's about learning to dance in the rain. I thought of love, of trust, of risk, of family, of the masks people wear, and of the courage it took to face them. The masks were gone. The truth remained. And for the first time in weeks, I felt something close to peace.